If this is indeed going to hold the move, try to align that properly. If this is indeed going to hold the move, the trade either exists right here as a long or right here as a long and nothing else. You can't long in between this level because this also exists on as a short on this side and a long on this side. So you are either doing this in this trade. If this is polarity right here, because this is the same level in theory as this blue one that we have on our screen. So these levels are in theory the same thing. This is polarity from a larger event. This is polarity from a larger event, okay? So that means you either short right here or long right here, which means you also short exactly this level or long exactly this level here, and nothing in between for shorts. You can't be right here in price and start a long. You can't be right here in price and start a long. You can't be right here in price and start a long, because if you long this level, because it is breaking over, not shorting, this is your target. So if you enter on this middle one right here, right, like this middle one right here, if you've entered that one, your trade is from here to here. That's it. There is no I enter here and I want to see if it breaks over, because you're going to enter here where I'm circling, and you're going to try to break over, and what's going to happen is it's going to go here, and it's going to instantly knife catch down. And in the scenario where that doesn't happen, you're going to enter here, that same price, and you only long once you get over top of the level. That's the only spot where you would actually take a long. You're either shorting this and exiting if it goes over, or you're longing this and exiting if it goes below. You can't long in between, because the short exists like $10 away. So you either short this and exit when the short breaks, or you long this and exit when the long breaks. Even if this long is true right here, even if we go above this and up, you can't long these levels in here. You can't long an in-between level, because technically it's supposed to short here. So go to the daily. I'll show you guys where that is. Go to the daily. So you can mark this. Exactly. It's going to do one of two things there. So you can mark that. Okay. We have no other points. So this would be the next point. It doesn't exist. So just simply go to the 12. Oh, perfect. Look, right there. So you can just actually move this level to there. You don't even need that higher level anymore. You could even move this level to that body right there and see if it's tested, which it is, greediest point. So now you can just move it to there. Yes, perfect. You can mark another level here. See how this level is continuing to hold it against trend. So if this level continues to hold the move, it's going to break something much bigger. But if we are going to break whatever this is holding, which is laddering in this moment from here to now here, if you long this level here, it's likely coming to here. And then this is a short on this side. This is a long on this side, because it's polarity. But you can't long right here. You can long the levels that break in here, but you can't long in between, because you're just going to instantly short here.
And we will make our decision on the small time frames when and if it gets to there, near enough to it.
Exactly, because that's how polarity works. You can't just be back to a 1 minute time frame now for me.
Gotcha.
We have
right.
Now,
so
yep. Now that we have these levels marked, Val, and zoom in. Yep. Go back a little bit to those points we were at, those moments we were at. We had our 15-minute level right here, which was hit. And then this one is the same thing as this. So it's not actually this level that we're testing. This was already tested here. That's fine. We are laddering from this point to this point, and then you can go forward now. And so this we have marked on the weekly from way back when, but that was already tested. So we can just get rid of that level. We can just delete it because it was already tested in a, no, the other one. Yep, this one here. So this is your polarity in the move, because it's going to gap to this, because exterior wise, that's where your polarity exists, because it's laddered all the way from this moment back here in January to here, to here, to here, which is just little local right here, which is causing this ladder here, which is now here in a moment. And then if you go to your hourly chart now, like a 1 hour, so you can see where the ladder exists from here in the past to here to here. So you can see where the polarity exists on the exterior time frame. So you guys notice how I did the daily first way back here, and then I moved to the 12. So that's where I'm finding my polarity is this way back. not start here and try to justify polarity going forward in timeframes, because you won't be able to, which is just going to be ladder 1, ladder 2, and 3, and then in the future 4, which really this ladder 1 here is actually, like I said earlier, this is like ladder 8 from the past, because it was like all the way from the very top of the move in January of 2018 or whatever it was, 20K ladder, ladder 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4, and then, by the time you get down to where we are right now, this is really ladder 8. Not only ladder 1 locally, but it's ladder 8 globally, right? So this is like the same thing with polarity. Like this might be ladder 1 for this right here. So this cycle of ladders is just confirming ladder 8. So it's like a box within a box, right? Like this is just all of this stuff here is just like an instance within an instance is how I describe it in AIX. When we're coding AIX, it's like we use instances inside of instances. So this is like a box inside of a box, right? A box inside of a bigger box, right? Instance inside of an instance, where even these local 1 hour timeframes are just nothing compared to this larger stuff. So you can't lose money on those greedy points. Like I've trained you guys from day one, the greediest points, you cannot lose money on the greediest points, because they either fall straight through and polarize the other way. You could take this trade, sure. You could take that short. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean it's the wrong short. It doesn't mean technically it's the wrong level. But what you wouldn't have seen is the backside frontside combinations in a different time frame. So go to the 15-minute for me now. Right? So right here, backside, frontside, frontside combination. So mark this one for me, the backside frontside combination. Yeah, you see it does front run that level and hit it. So it does hit that level. But if we mark this, we know we can't lose money, right? So we could just take the greediest points. We can always take backside frontside combination levels, but there's a risk because they're not the final level that could potentially be hit. Like in this scenario here, right? Could we have go back a little bit here? Could we have taken this because it's a backside on a higher time frame? Well, mark it and see. Let's see if we can make profit there. Yeah, we made profit, but it still went after the greedier level, the greedier untested level. So yeah, you could have made profit here, but you would have needed to be in this trade, enter, exit, because it doesn't hit the break of the level, right? Before you get liquidated. But if you only...
And you see that, yeah, I might take a trade like that, stay in too long and get liquidated.
Yeah, if you only ever took this trade, I don't see where you can lose money. If you only ever took this greediest point, I don't see how you can lose money. If you only ever took the greediest point in here, I don't see how you could lose money. If you went here, it's not the greediest point. Could it bounce? Yeah, for sure it can. Does that mean it's going to? No. That means it could just go to the greediest level, because the greediest level just represents ladder, 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 just like this down here. Break the move, tested, untested. Technically, this one can ladder it. So that's polarization. Perfect. Greediest level that's untested can. So you mark the body.
Let it go until you hit that greedy one or not.
Yeah, I mean, you can use that as a rule. I've always tried to teach you guys that from the start, because that's the point where you guys aren't equipped yet to take every single trade. That takes time. But if I equip you guys to take the greediest levels, I don't see how you can be in these trades. If you're only ever, like I've said this since like the first week, if you guys take only the greediest parts of the move, you can't really lose money. You can only make money. And it just still remains to be true to this day, months later, right? Like here, and then the greediest point here on the 1 minute candle, and then the greediest point here. Okay, we didn't get a trade there on that third one I marked. That's fine. But we did get a fourth one here on this side. So in this trade, there was like multiple hundreds of percent. Like there is like 20%, like 2,000% profits here on 100x contracts. If you only just looked at this on a higher time frame, worked your way down and just took the greediest levels. There's a lot of moves in between for sure. But again, just start marking those too. Like just start from here. Like, was there a greedy?
I think it's our impatience. Our impatience is getting us burnt.
There's one right there. There's the greediest level right there. Here's the next one right here. There's one right here that was polarized. So that one there, you can say, oh, it's breaking up. Don't take it. But then the greediest level right here. Perfect. They're just everywhere. They're literally everywhere. You could go anywhere on any chart, and these greediest points are literally everywhere. Take this trade, short there. Take this trade, short there. Take this trade, long there. Take this trade. Okay, you would have had to exit that one. Maybe you got liquidated. Fine, let's just even call it a liquidation. That's fine. Take this trade, go to that, and you're just going to the next greediest point, right? So you would have had one, and even call these all 100% just to be equal. Just make a rule where you take only 100% profits. 100%, 200%, 300%. We lost this one, 200%, 300%. What did I miss here? 1, 2, 3. Oh, 400%. Oh, so that's 300%. 300%. And then even here, if we're not including these tops and bottoms, right? That's another, like this one here is already like 400% if you just make a stupid rule. Like procedurally, this is very simple to create, where you could just be a robot and just take these greediest levels from the highest time frames working down, right? So again, just to kind of put a nice end tone on this, you guys are too busy going here and working up in time frames and not create polarity here, right? And if it doesn't exist, work down. That's where you create polarity. This stuff here is where you decide polarity. And that goes for trends too, actually, which, we won't get into today because that's a whole nother thing, but that goes for trends too. This is more of like post analytics on a move, which is good. Like post analytics, I think, are the best tool of learning here. Even these hold levels now, like we're on a 15-minute chart. Yep, greediest hold right there. There's no other greedy hold. It executes right here. 15-minute right here, greediest hold right here, executes there, right? 15-minute right here, executes there. 15-minute here, executes there. And so you did get liquidated on one of them, which was this one right here, which is fine. It happens. You're going to get liquidated on some of them if you take every single one, but greediest point right here goes to right there. There's a greedy point in here, which goes to right there. There's a greedy point back here, which goes to right here. Yeah, and so on, right? Even if you take this greediest point right there, look for the next one, this greediest point right here, this greediest point right here. Like even these ones worked, even this worked, even this one worked. On the backside, where's the greediest point? Here. This one's not really fair because it didn't reach its target yet. So we can't use that one. So we can't say this one exists because this one here simply can't exist because it didn't reach target yet. So we can't use that. But then alternatively, we could have just said target's right here. Pretty close. I think that quite hasn't reached target yet. But anyways, that's its target, right? Or even right here, greediest point right there is a short. It exists. But again, we can't use that because it's before our target is hit. So we can't use that. But we could use this greedy point right here, which is tested there. So we could use this one right here as our target from this if we wanted. And that's not even the greediest point. This is just on the 15-minute. I would have to see the higher time frame. But anyways, greediest points, right? Like just to cap off that lesson on a higher time frames, working polarity from here won't work. Working polarity this way back will. So that's Dobert, that's where you're getting stuck because you're working polarity from the left side.
But it could have gone up to the other, could have gone past this to the other one and still rejected there just as easily.
No. So you're trying to create polarity in this move, right? Like that's your decision point here. So you're saying this is creating polarity on the move. That was your...
To ladder down from here, correct. But it could still have moved up to the other one and ladder down from there.
Where did you create this? On the 1 minute or the 3 minute or the 5 minute? Or where did you create this?
Yeah, I entered in the 1 minute, and yeah, I was, I fine. I was.
So then,
as I said, on the high time frame, sure, this is a high, but the other one's a high as well that it could have laddered down from.
So based on that logic, let's walk through this move. So this is tested on the 1 minute. This is tested, right? I'm gonna just walk through this. That one's tested there. This one is tested right there. So then, if you're in this moment. Do me a favor, Devel. Just don't move the screen, but cut the replayer tool off right here.
Right where?
Shit. Right there where I have my line. Shit, it did that. Okay, just line me up again. Perfect. So in this move, if you're justifying polarity on a smaller time frame, you already tested the level. So I'm still failing to see where the trade makes sense here, because if that's the case, this is the only level of polarity that exists. This one here, I'll do this again. This one in red right here. This is the only level of polarity that exists on a small time frame. So if that's true, once you break over this, you should be longing and not shorting. Because if you're creating polarity on a small time frame here, this is already tested. So how can this be an untested level? Because it's already tested there. And then how can this be an untested level? So you don't even have any untested levels here. So this is what I'm saying is if you're trying to create polarity on these small time frames, you have to also use it as well, because it can't be like your polarity moment on this time frame is here. So Deval, mark this level for me and just move this level to there. That's fine. The greediest point and play this move. So you should be shorting here and getting out of this if this short doesn't execute, because there is no there it is right there. Right there, you should be getting out, right? Like you're moving above polarity. Like this is what you guys are asking me. Like Pat, this is what you asked me. Like how do you, or somebody asked me, maybe it wasn't Pat actually. Somebody asked me like, how do you see? And I told you guys it could be a 1 minute candle, or it could zoom in here for me for a second. It could be a 1 minute candle that just flies right over the level, or it could have a few hard closes like this. So somebody had asked that earlier, like, how do you see it? Well, this is you seeing it right here in the moment. So this is the only untested level. So to take a short anywhere here, that's not the greediest time frame on a higher time frame. The greediest point is just it's not the right entry, because even if you're saying that you shorted that level that you shorted, it was already tested on your time frame, but it's not tested on a different time frame. You see, so you can't justify an entry on a 1 minute if it's already tested, because it's not going to respect it. But on a higher time frame, if it's untested, that's your more defining moments of polarity. So that's what I mean when I say, like, I just don't see, like, it's not a terrible short. You were right in the long run, but you picked the wrong level, just based off the principle that on the 1 minute your level's tested. So you just made a mistake on your charts then, because even if you're buying that on the 1 minute, it can't be tested on one time frame and also untested. If it's tested on the 1 minute, then if that's what you're justifying as polarity, you can't, it's already tested anyways.
So technically, these polarized moments are always going to be hold levels, right? Because these holds are either the spots you take a short, or the hold can't hold you long there.
Yep.
So does it matter if it hits the break of the valley then, in
Nope.
terms of? So the only thing that should matter is
The hold levels,
the hold levels,
which end up being polarity. Correct. The break levels don't mean anything. It's the hold levels that are the key piece, because they give you polarity.
So in the end, the end game is always to just be able to find the polarized moment and take a decision there. Nowhere else should you be trading.
If you can see every single polarized moment on a chart, yeah, but then you're at the tops and bottoms of every single part of the move. Like then you're a master of catching tops and bottoms. So, yep. In a nutshell, yes. That's pretty tough though. Like that's tough. I wouldn't discredit break levels, because break levels will show you different things like origins. Like I wouldn't completely discredit them. But if we're talking just in terms of polarity, like just in terms of finding those moments, then that would be true. But that doesn't mean you should discredit break levels, because they give you a different data point, right? Like they give you a different set of information. Like it's a different decision we make based on that data point.